Hi folks, Griffin Lucier here, doing another Jund video, this time in Standard on Magic Arena. And so we just barely, as I'm recording this, this is Monday morning, right after the Pro Tour Top 8, where we saw a lot of mono blue, and other than that though, kind of a smattering of all like the usual suspects of the format. Definitely mono blue is enemy number one right now. So our Jund deck is tuned a little bit to keep that in mind. I think it's kind of an intrinsically bad matchup, but not that bad. The whole thing about that matchup is that you just really need to keep your cards. You want to keep your mana curve low and your interaction high. And just get through their early stuff. Their cards are when their cards are less powerful than yours and they're beating you by tempo, you have to just make your cards cheap to fight it, because you're still going to have more powerful cards in the late game. That being said, it's a tough matchup. I like the way that it plays now that we added 3 copies of Carnival Carnage to the deck. I was really unhappy with like Lava Coil. I was really unhappy with some of the other removal spells that are available. And Carnival Carnage is great because it's instant speed, which is really important in the mono blue matchup. And it is great because it's got other value outside of just being a removal spell if you're not playing against a deck like mono blue or mono red or something like that, something with Lana War Elves or Jadelight Rangers and Merfolk Planeswalkers. You know, those are like the good 1 toughness creatures that you can hit. But Carnage does a really good job at making itself useful, I guess, against, because there's such a huge spread, right? There's the mono blue decks where you really need to have cheap interaction. It's got to be like specifically just like shocks and cheap removal spells. And then there's, on the other end of the spectrum, there's these creatureless decks that are just like totally punishing you for having dead cards in your hand. And Carnival Carnage does a good job of being not the best, not like the greatest thing you could get against either of those, but pretty good against either of them. And so we've added Carnival Carnage to the deck. We've actually swapped our counts of Angrath and Vivian. I have just been in love with Angrath against pretty much the whole format. It's just been phenomenal. Yeah, we're going to run this through some games. Kind of the same deck as always, but we're going to run it through, see what the metagame looks like after the Pro Tour. I think I'll do a traditional event and see how we do. Okay, so we're here for round 1. This hand looks okay. Opponent's on the play. Not the greatest I've ever seen, but we've got some good threats here. Good mana curve. Definitely going to need to find a second red source. This looks like it's kind of an Azorius deck. Maybe just blue-white. I don't think people play a lot of planes. Either way, Thrashing Brontodon looks awesome here. That's the perfect card for us. We can go get our other mountain, and I also don't want to play Brontodon until turn 4 anyway. No, it's Esper. It looks like they're going to leave up Absorb. So I'd rather get my District guy countered than my Brontodon, but it's not looking great with these two double red cards in our hand. I think the danger of Search for Escanta is more worrisome than the danger of not trying a red source immediately. So that kind of indicates Vraska's Contempt to me. Could also be just a really big Syncopate that they've got in their hand, but I don't know. So let's just run out Brontodon. Could also just be Chemister's Insight. That's probably the most likely thing. And I'm just going to do this now. I don't want them to use it for the Scry ability. I don't want them to... Just don't want them to have this around. Now we played the Overgrown Tomb after it resolved. Ooh, Vraska's Contempt. Okay. Now if we draw a land, we're in really good shape. Because they would have countered that if they had the ability to. I think. Ooh, okay, okay. So note that that's really good against Phoenix.
That needed to stay dead?
Well, pretty good.
Funny, that's what I do.
Okay. So we still can't play Phoenix, but we have Angrath online here.
No fire, no steam.
They discarded Chemister's Insight.
Be gone.
Okay.
I know.
So we're going to minus on Angrath? Sure. So Brontodon looks pretty good. I think I'm going to Seeker Squire. I want to make sure that I don't tap my Mountain for it, in case we draw a red source. The thing is that I want to put that in the graveyard because I know that I have Angrath coming next. So we'll bin that and play a Brontodon. Now I could get hit with Kaya's Wrath, but if we do, then we just get to slam this Angrath and go to work again. If we don't, yeah, that gets exiled, which is too bad, but it's not really the hugest deal. We have only got the one copy of Find Finality, and we don't have any Memorial to Folly, so it's like not really that much of our plan to try and get back creatures from the graveyard. So there's a Kaya's Wrath, and so as long as their last card here isn't Absorb or Negate, I think we're in okay shape. Rough. Rough beats. Okay.
Hurry!
Bags.
The fire's out, but the embers burn.
Alright, alright. So, this kind of walks into a Kaya's Wrath. Kaya, the Orzhov Usurper, is really good with Kaya's Wrath in combination when fighting against Rekindling Phoenix.
Keep up the pace.
I think they're trying to dig for a removal spell. They might already have the Kaya's Wrath. I wonder if they have to settle the wreckage. Cry of the Carnarian. Okay. So that's not gonna do it against the Phoenix. They could have another removal spell here, though. Okay, so there goes Teferi.
Only time will tell.
They've only got 3 cards. Or 3 cards in hand. They've got 3 mana available. It looks a lot like an Absorb. So I guess there's not a ton of reason to play a Phoenix. Especially because with Kaya in play, I don't love opening myself up to a Wrath anyway. If it wasn't for Kaya, this Kaya is very good against our hand here that's hinging on Rekindling Phoenix to work. But if it wasn't for Kaya, then we'd be in much better shape. It could possibly be that it's just like too important to get something on the board here. Like if they play Teferi, then we're in trouble. It just seems so likely that that was Absorb in their hand that it didn't seem worth it to me to cast a Phoenix. Take your pick. So if they're using Kaya now, then that means that they don't have... gotta watch out for this. Okay, so they didn't have Removal Spell. I mean, I'm guessing that they have Absorb. But I'd rather get Rekindling Phoenix absorbed than Angrath. Gotta watch out for Kaya's ultimate. It's -5 to deal us 9 and they gain 9? There's a Contempt. Okay. So there go my Phoenixes, and that's up to 11. It's getting a little dicey. So we gotta hope that they don't have another counter spell. I don't think we can wait. Sure. That's 2 copies in the Negate main deck. That's I don't know. Probably about the norm now.
Pack your bags.
I've weathered
Hit the
tougher
road.
storms than you.
So Kaya looked pretty good this game, but I don't think any of our Phoenixes actually would have gotten back anyway. I think one got absorbed, one got Vraska's Contempted, and the other got Thought Erasured, so we didn't have any triggers that we missed because of Kaya. But it's still really good. What are we at? 12 here?
Be gone.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
Alright, let's attack Kaya.
Usually I'm better at dodging.
Might as well do some Carnival Carnage. There goes their hand. It's just lands, but they have really good draws in their deck. That's one of them. That's not bad. So now they get to put us to 14 cards in exile. So I think we need to draw Bedevil here or else we lose.
You're not welcome here anymore.
That's not the worst card in the world. Yep.
Would you like to see what's left of Scala? No one knows the wilds like I do.
For a Branch Walker, I think I'm gonna leave pretty much anything on top here. Sure. The reason is I just don't want another card to go to my graveyard to get exiled with Kaya. Interesting that they didn't cast Chemister's Insight, but they did. Okay, well there's Kaya's Wrath, and so that's going to put us to 15 cards in our exile. See, if I had binned this Vivian, then there would be 16 cards in or they could put 16 cards in exile.
Trust me. Hold that thought.
And then just kill us next turn. So this at least gives us some kind of shot here, but it's not great. Teferi, of course, is a problem.
Balance comes.
Fourth Phoenix. Mortify, sure.
No time for a break.
Kaya Orzhov Usurper was pretty good this game. So we've got one shot at Bedevil. Even then, I don't think it's extremely likely to resolve. Sure. Ooh, okay.
The wilds are my shield.
So I'm gonna wait until they cast Chemister's Insight. Hopefully they do. They could just have another counterspell in hand. That would be pretty likely. Sure. Okay. So now... So now, they actually have to get rid of this Vivian, I think. Otherwise, the Vivian emblem is pretty good here. This elemental token is going to be pretty... This is going to be a pretty beastly egg.
I'm not done.
Oh, they're plussing. Okay. No respect for the Vivian emblem. They have cast 2 Contempt so far. Yep. Alright, here we go. Can you beat a 2/3? Okay, sure.
It's time.
At least we get Angrath to resolve. It's kind of tough though because we've got like one turn before Teferi Ultimate. I don't think it's going to work out for us. Maybe we can draw Rakdos Firewheeler. Yeah, I got no thoughts.
No fire, no steel.
Okay, here's a 4/4.
I'm sorry I have to do this.
So they've minused their Teferi. Not drawing any cards, which is nice for us. Let's make them discard.
No fire, no steel.
So let's see whose emblem is better. Yeah, they gotta hit the Angrath here for sure.
In the storm-wrecked sea I go.
think Teferi's Emblem is better. If I had some kind of like token generator creature though, or you know, if I had CGN Commander in my deck or something and got to resolve, then we might be okay here. But I don't think this is gonna amount to too much. All right, what do we got in here anyway? When did that Kaya actually die? We have a copy of District Guide. I think that we gotta bin this because it's just gonna get a District Guide. So. Yep, here's my choop. We draw a creature every turn for the next 6 turns, then maybe we'll win. And none of them get absorbed. We've also lost both Vivians. 1, 2, 3 Angraths. Sure. So that's gonna just about do it here. Okay. Fair enough. Alright. Let's go to sideboards. That's quite the game. We have 4 copies of Duress, Brontodon, Golgari Queen. Those all come in. I like to cut Chupacabra, Firewheeler. I like to cut 3 copies of Seeker Squire. Yep, I think that's about right. I think Vraska Golgari Queen gets really good when they have Kaya. Seems pretty solid. I also like it as a hedge against Thief of Sanity. And that's also why I leave in the Bedevils. They're okay. Firewheeler is definitely better against Thief of Sanity, but Bedevil can hit a Planeswalker, so. And it can also hit Lyra, which is pretty common. Yep. Just gonna go ahead with this. Alright, good to be on the play. Get a pretty good hand. I always feel like it's a little risky whenever I board out Seeker Squire, because I really want a turn 2 play or a turn 1 play. A play on either 1 or 2. We've got the 4 Duress and the 4 Branchwalkers. I'm just going for Branchwalker here. I don't think we can win if we miss on lands here. They could have Search for Escanto right now, which would be pretty dangerous for us, but sure. Well, luckily we get to play District Guide no matter what. We'll see what they hit with their Thought Erasure, though. Tick Duress. Okay, interesting. We're just gonna go fetch up a mountain. I meant to get a mountain, but I got a swamp instead. That was very silly. I thought I clicked mountain. Luckily, we got the stomping ground, so it doesn't matter. Drew the other swamp, which isn't great. Let's your guide. This looks just so much like an absorb, so I don't even care. Let's get a mountain for real this time. Okay. Oh, no Kaya's Wrath. It's fine with me. So we've got lethal on board. They've got to cast Kaya's Wrath here. I guess they could cast Teferi? Not sure really what that accomplishes. They could cast Cryo the Carnarium. I don't know, that's something. How about Carnival Carnage? Nope. I'm going to play the Mountain, play the Phoenix. I'm going to discard this swamp when we get the chance. So I gotta imagine that that's game. I guess they could have land cast down Kaya's Wrath. That'd be pretty good. They could have Cryo the Carnarium plus either cast down or a land and mortify. Yep. Good game. Alright, so now we're in the draw. It's a little tougher. Don't really think there's anything I want to change. I know that there's still always going to be like Thief of Sanity is much better for them on the play than it is on the draw. But I just can't ever get myself to play any Shivan Fire's Moment of Craven Cast Down. Vraska can hit it, but it's a turn late. These cards are 2 turns late. But at least we've got these Bedevils still. And, yeah. You know what? I almost wonder if I should be playing Vraska Relic Seeker instead of Find Finality. Because they have a lot of exile effects, and they also have Kaya. I think I'm going to make that swap. Not too sure about it. I could also actually see boarding in Seeker Squire. I think maybe I'll just do that instead. I'll lose a little bit in my late game, but I think it's alright. Because we just gotta... You can't stumble on lands in this matchup. Can't stumble on lands in any matchup, really. In Standard. If you do, then you're just toast. Everybody punishes you. It's either you're tempoed out like completely by a red deck or a blue deck, or you're getting hit by really early Vivian Reed or really early Teferi. So it looks good. We don't have an answer to Thief yet. We do have an Angrath, which is pretty nice. This is kind of an answer to Thief. It's not the greatest, though. Because they could still just have it on turn 3 here. Let's see what happens. Okay. The other answer to Thief is flood the board with creatures and make them want to use Kaya's Wrath. Okay, well, never mind. Rather have a Merfolk Branchwalker get countered than a Brontodon. Okay. Four mana. Try the Carnarium. Sounds good. So now I think it's gonna be... I think it's gonna be Phoenix. We could also Duress plus Brontodon. We could also cast Carnage. I don't think Carnage is good right now, because they can just leave land Teferi in their hand and then we're way behind. But if we play a Phoenix now, then I think we're in really good shape. We're even pretty solid against Teferi. Yeah, because we can use the Carnival half to kill Teferi here. So let's duress. Take Chemister's Insight. Yeah. Nah. Let's take Absorb. I want to cast Angrath next turn. I want to District Guide for a swamp. And then we're going to cast Carnival on Teferi. Pew pew. Your move. Alright, so they've got Chemister's Insight. They've got a land. Got one card we don't know about. It's a little scary to just run in. I mean, they could have Absorb or Negate here, but it's better to just play your stuff and then let them cast Chemister's on end step here. So looks like they did in fact find a counter spell. Nope. Okay. So we like that a lot.
Here no fire, no steel.
And then let's play a land. Angrath on the board makes Thief of Sanity just a non-issue. Discards Kaya. Pretty fair assessment. So they're probably going to want to play Vraska's Contempt at some point. I'm going to need to start drawing some spells, I think. I might run out of gas here pretty quick.
No fire, no steel.
I think I'm going to play the Brontodon. I know it could run into a Kaya's Wrath, but sure, I'm much, much happier with that. That means they didn't get to use Chemister's Insight on their end step. Ooh, hello. Well, that really kind of sucks. We can make them discard their last card, or you can steal Lyra, but it only deals them 5. They go to 5, so I think we just have to make them discard.
No fire, no steel.
And we gotta draw a spell here someday. That's all there is to it.
Fire and fury.
Pretty good one. Now I wish Angrath was on one more loyalty than it is, but... So we'll make them discard. Attempt on the District Guide. Okay.
No fire, no steel.
So let's go... that. Golgari Queen. I'm going to tick up. I'm going to sacrifice a swamp. Okay. Alright, alright. We are back in it. So what we can do is block Lyra. Steal Lyra with Angrath. And then sacrifice it to Golgari Queen. That's a nice little combo that we've got in this deck, which is pretty helpful sometimes. It's a little annoying to cast down here, but like, what are we gonna do? I'm not gonna mess around here. I could tick up and be like, oh, I'll save this to block another turn or whatever. I'm not doing that. I don't think it's, like... I think we're in, like, very good shape right now. So I don't think it's worth being that aggressive. So let's play District Guide and get a land. I don't really care. All of our lands add green right now, which is really weird. So let's get a swamp and play it. I don't want to play the Brontodon. So we're good against Teferi. We're good against Thief of Sanity. We're good against Search for Escanta. We're good against Kaya. Should have played the Brontodon. It's not the hugest of deals. Contempt Vraska, sure. Okay. We've got a pretty significant clock here. Pretty glad we cashed in the lands when we had the chance, because we are drawing plenty of lands. Thought Erasure for nothing. Do I even play this? How are they getting out of this? Contempt. They could have Absorb and then Contempt. They could absorb this Contempt on their turn. Like this card could be Absorb and then they draw Contempt. So I think we just say go. Opponent gave us the good game, so hopefully that means they're conceding. Okay, cool. Alright, so we beat Esper Control. Like, I mean, same way we've been beating Esper Control ever since Bloodbraid Elf got printed, where you just go to sideboard, you cut your removal, and then all of a sudden you just have a bunch of discard spells and good stuff. Yep, so we're 1-0. Let's go to round 2. Okay, here for round 2. Be on the play. Hand looks fantastic. Just trying to decide what to do on turn 1. I'm pretty sure it's Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. I'm going to scry and put one on top. Watergrave tapped. Okay. Seeker Squire, we hit another land, which is nice. It's kind of awkward to just play Blood Crypt untapped here. But the thing is that we're so far ahead if we actually get to use our mana this turn. And 2 life against Esper Control doesn't really mean anything. So let's just go ahead and do it. Don't know if they think that's going to mean anything or whatever. Vivian, I bet you wish we had another green source. Like, if they were playing Esper mid-range and then just played a Thief of Sanity there, then it would be like, we would have wanted to leave that land untapped. We could have alternatively played a mountain. No, we couldn't play a mountain because then we don't leave Bedevil up for that reason. I just think that the 2 life really doesn't matter at all there. So. Nothing. Love it. So is this going to be Vraska's Contempt? We gotta do something here, right? Okay. So that's probably gonna be like another cast down. Take the point. Let's go with Angrath. They could have negate. They could have negate. They've got the other cast down. Okay. Alright. So we're in pretty good shape here. It's never really it's a losing battle to play Bedevil on a Teferi, but here we kind of got him in a squeeze. Well, first of all, really would like to draw a green source here. That's not one. We got some things we can do. District Guide. Go find a forest and play the forest, and we are clearly discarding Ravenous Chupacabra. So what I was saying there was that with Angrath in play, and we had the 1-2 in play, if they had gone with a Teferi, then we would have been in good shape. We, like, if they plus, then it's really not the hugest deal. If they minus on our Angrath, then we just attack the Teferi. So they do not have counterspell mana up. So let's go ahead and kill this Eldritch Reborn.
How this thick? This is nothing.
So that worked out just about as well as it possibly could have. Opponent's got 6 mana, lots of Chemister's Insights in your graveyard. So we do need to try and close this game out here pretty quickly. That's a pretty good card to draw when I'm trying to close the game out pretty quickly. So I'm just going to play all this stuff. Nah, I don't think so. Don't think I want that. With 2 Explorers rolled up, I think I can do better. We can bin that one too. Not really thrilled about it. So they have to have Kaya's Wrath here, and if they do, that's really not the hugest deal. Land, take 2. Huh. Okay. Well, that's a good draw. Taking 2 is interesting. See what we hit here with Vivian.
You can't stop nature.
So I'm not going to cast anything because it plays into Absorb. So they're going to Mortify that. Then we get to kill them with Carnage. They have no cards in hand, even though it looks like they have 3 really good cards in hand. Okay, so that was pretty good. We got hit by an Eldritch Reborn, but managed to take care of it with Vivian Reed. We're going to sideboard the same way as before. I think I'm going to leave Find Finality in this time. We didn't see Kaya. That's interesting. Because I am on the draw, I really do need to have like a turn 2 or 1 play here. I think I might cut a Carnival Carnage. Maybe, yeah. The thing about the discard spells is that like I kind of like them better on the draw than on the play. Because they don't have as many cards in hand. Like when they have 2 cards in hand, that's the perfect time to cast your discard spell. So they're more likely to have only 2 cards in hand at a given time. If they only start with fewer than you do. Really kind of need the Seeker Squire. Ooh, thanks. They took that right off the bat there. Probably because it's my only answer to Thief of Sanity right now, but... Okay. So we're going to get colded. We're going to get completely destroyed by Thief of Sanity if we bin this. But I also kind of just don't think we're winning if we keep it on top. We really need a green source next turn. So I know it's dangerous, but I'm binning that. Okay. That I can deal with. I mean, it's not great. Thought Erasure, negate Contempt. They only got one card. I think I'm gonna take the Thought Erasure. Honestly, it helps them with Search for Escanta the most. So. The gate looks pretty good here too, but ooh, taking 2 for Vraska's Contempt. Oh boy, alright. I don't know what we're doing here, except it was the forest that we hit, which kind of sucks. But at least we've got some green sources now. So I think we're gonna play Branchwalker. Because we can't District Guide for another forest, because it's only one in the deck. I gotta bin you. Now they could Contempt here, but like that's not very good. So let's put them to... Okay. Okay, so this is gonna work out pretty good. We're gonna play Phoenix. And now they're in a squeeze here where they are going to take a bunch of damage if they don't... Well, they could draw a land here, and then they can do both Vraska's Contempt and negate. It's kind of too bad. But I guess we got plan B of just playing a bunch of creatures down. So they're going to stay at 12. We got them on a 4-turn clock. They got 4 cards in their graveyard. I'm just gonna not run into this negate. We've got green. We got swamp. So ideally they just never draw Kaya's Wrath, or we draw Duress and take that negate out of their hand, and then we go to town. Could be Chemister's Insight. That would be a pretty good card to keep here. Yeah. But the thing is that they get to play negate either way. They're up to enough mana where the negate is going to work no matter what they do. Who's Teferi? And what are we doing with Teferi? Plussing Teferi. Okay. So. Search is going to happen next turn if they want it to. They have Absorb up. So I think what I want to do... This one's slipping away. I think what I want to do is play Phoenix. And then it'll... Okay, so it resolved. So that makes me want to go face here. They didn't have Absorb. Search gets to flip, so they have a shot at getting... Like, searching, hitting... Ooh, okay. Silica Bellhaunt, sure. That's pretty good. Interesting. Now they still have negate up. So this looks pretty good for them. However, we get to attack Teferi and kill it here, which probably not going to be enough to win, but could help. Yeah, maybe that was the wrong play. Maybe I was supposed to attack Teferi once I saw the Phoenix get into play, because then they couldn't Teferi minus on the Phoenix. Oh, it's in the tank here for some reason. Wonder what they're thinking about. So our opponent went to used a bunch of timeouts. So I think they might have disconnected. So I think there's kind of a good chance this just resolves. Top decked Angrath. I'm just going to cast it into this negate. Because if our opponent doesn't do anything because they disconnected, then we get to win the game. Just another awesome Magic Arena situation here. But if they don't do anything, then get to steal this Bellhaunt and attack. Which is what we'll do. Yeah, okay, fine. I guess I don't know exactly how it works. There's a certain amount of like inactivity and then you are forced to concede. I think we were almost certainly losing that game. And then we would have gone to game 3, and who knows what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we would have won that or not, but oh well, whatever. Alright, time to go to round 3. Yeah, so we going to round 3 now. Tez Jace 20. Nice. That's our opponent's name. We almost certainly would have lost that game, but we got pretty lucky. However, being on the play in the Esper Control mirror, or not mirror, Esper Control matchup, post board, I like our chances a lot. Being on the play is actually just such a huge deal, because really their best opportunity to beat you is, I'm going to go with Branchwalker here, by the way, instead of Seeker Squire. Graveyard that. I think no matter what an opponent does, if they just have Island on turn 1, then I'm the, like, I need to try and get damage in on the ground, so. Being on the play in the Esper matchup is so important because their best plan of attacking you is Thief of Sanity. And it just opens up so many more avenues for you to be able to actually beat that card. We need to land here pretty badly. That's rough. However, we got a pretty good clock, and if we hit one land, then we'll be able to get another one after that. Pretty fantastic start from our opponent. There's our land. Hope it's fast enough. This could be a Frilled Mystic, but I think the deck that made the top 8 of the Pro Tour didn't actually play that card. So let's go ahead and get our Forest, which I never really like to get this early, but we need it for Vivian Reed. Oh man, we could just lose right now. So they don't have enough to Nexus of Fate right now. They're on a pretty good clock here. So they could root snag, or root snare. Nothing going on there. Just gonna play Land District Guide, I guess. That should have been a mountain. Doesn't really matter. I don't think that... I think that either we're gonna untap and win, or we're gonna untap, not untap. I think we might be queuing a montage here of our opponent just adding 1200 mana and drawing 1200 cards and killing us. 3 Wilderness Reclamations is a lot. Okay, so this looks a lot like a root snare, right? Okay. Are they just dead? Never mind, they're just dead. No nexuses, no root snares. Whatever. I think they had like 24 mana a turn there, but they lost anyway, so that's good for us. Duress comes in, Brontodon comes in. I even want those cards. I'm going to take Bedevil out. I'm going to take Chupacabra out. I think Carnival Carnage is okay. Fine Finality is really bad. And Midnight Reaper is also pretty bad in this matchup. Maybe this is the way to go here. You want a little bit of a clock, but... I think Firewheeler is probably better than some of this other stuff. It just deals damage. Like, having a way to deal damage through a root snare is kind of cool. They'll do lots of times something like they get to, okay, I'll go to 2, and then next turn I'll root snare you, and then you just play like a Firewheeler or an Angrath or a Carnival Carnage and kill them. Or a little bit of reach. And then Vraska Relic Seeker is not great, but it hits enchantments, which is important. Bulgari Queen is okay because it hits Crassus, which is important, and it also hits Search for Escanta. So we're up a game, miraculously. I think we got... I think we were on like just a no-outer there, and we got there. We have a Brontodon, which is pretty good, but it's not even that fast, and we don't even have a second green source. This hand's a little awkward. I think I'm going to ship this. This is, like, slightly better. Gotta try and hit green sources here. Now we really gotta try and hit green sources. The rest for Growth Spiral, for sure. Kind of is a weird situation where I'm hoping that they draw Search for Escanta, even though it's like the best card in their deck against us. Gonna need a green source. But if we hit, we're in pretty good shape. Okay. Yep. Pretty good start from them. We got that growth spiral out of there, though. That was really important. Like, if we're going to win this game, don't exactly know how. Probably something along the lines of, like, draw green source, land Angrath, draw another green source, land Vivian, maybe. Even then, like, attacking their hand isn't really that useful right now. Where's my opponent in the tank? What are you gonna? You think is my opponent gonna time out here too? Is there something going on? Is the European Union like out of power right now or something? Is there some kind of huge like internet failure? Ugh, that's rough. Sure. Put one on the top, so it's gotta be a Nexus, right? Or something? Something good? Chemisters, I'd say. Search for content. Okay. So now if we draw green stars, we can actually just kill that thing. Pretty good deal for us. As long as it doesn't get negated, which it probably will. Well, there's our green source. Are we getting negated now that they've drawn 1,200 cards? They're not doing anything else, so they have to have negates in their hand, I'm assuming. Okay. Alright, well I'm ready to throw in the towel now. Now that they got Search for Escanta going, I think we're done. So that was a little brutal. We actually had a shot there somehow. How bad is the ooze for me? The biogenic ooze. Probably not that bad. Probably not that bad. The problem is none of our Vraska doesn't actually hit it. I just don't think I want cast down in my deck right now. Chupacabra either. Don't think I want Bedevil. I don't think we need Fine Finality. I think this is gonna be fine. We might just get killed by a biogenic ooze, but I mean we also have our own, threats. If they just want to play a bunch of creatures, we can kind of do that too. This one's kind of a stinker, but we have a Brontodon. I think we're gonna ship this one. I think we can do better. And we kind of are doing better. Gonna bottom that, because we need a land. They do have Frilled Mystic. Okay, so we don't have a Disenchant. Otherwise, I'd really like to take the negate. But we're taking Search for Escanta. Pretty easy. Memorial of Genius, Breeding Pool. So the negate is going to be trouble. Frilled Mystic's kind of going to be trouble too. We're going to need a land. That's for certain. Opponent in the tank. Okay. Alright, so my go-to is just to snag a swamp here. We got plenty of lands. I wonder how much lands our opponent has here. Sure. Alright, so here's the thing. Frilled Mystic is going to nail us here. I think our best bet is actually to just cast Carnage, get it negated, and then hope our opponent doesn't have a second green source next turn, because then we can land Angrath. That's not going to do it. Alright, so now the question is, do we just cast the Angrath so that we can land Vraska next turn? I think the answer is probably yes. I also think I want to attack here before they get a chance to cast Frilled Mystic. This sucks. But what are you gonna do? We kind of need to draw some kind of threat there before Frilled Mystic got online. Would draw like a Phoenix or something? Would have been in really good shape. Instead, we had our only play was able to get hit by that negate. So, all right. So let's hope they don't have another one. But we can't just say go and play around it because they just Chemister's Insight. So that's not a thing that we can do. And I'm not really worried about killing this Mystic. I want to save my loyalty and then try and hit Wilderness Reclamation if we have time to do something like that, but who knows. I might even just take damage from the Mystic if they attack Vraska. Keep our clock going here. Rawr. All right. Ooh, maybe not. Having a way to deal damage through a Root Snare is kind of cool. Putting an opponent to 1 and then casting Rakdos Firewheeler looks kind of good here. Because it plays around Root Snare. Root Snare is a card that they might actually have. That might be like their only way of winning this game. So let's make a token. I'll attack with the Menace Pirate, I guess. So I guess what I mean by... if their hand is like really good right now, which it probably is, then I don't think we have a shot. If they, you know, Chemisters into Wilderness Reclamation and then just start going off, then we're in a lot of trouble. I think our best bet is that they just have a bunch of Root Snares, and that's their plan, is just to play defense for a while. And if that's the case, then the Firewheeler is going to be pretty good if we can get it to resolve. But it can't get negated. They didn't have a counterspell for Vraska. And I don't think they have Into the Royal. I mean, or not Into the Royal. The new one. Blink of an Eye. I think they probably... well, maybe. Maybe they do it on end step here. Oh, okay. So they have Nexus mana, but it doesn't really amount to much yet unless they play Reclamation. There's Nexus. And so the hope is that their hand is just all Nexuses and Root Snares right now. Because that's just like a very expensive growth spiral at this point. That Nexus was, at least. Put a card on top, that means gotta be Wilderness Reclamation, right? Ooh, okay. Well, this is good. This is good news. Alright, my friend, you're at 1 life. So now they have to have Root Snare. I am right that it just prevents combat damage, right? Okay, sure. Prevent all combat damage. Okay, good. Alright. Whew, that one was dicey. That one was certainly dicey. I kind of wanted to just hit that Frilled Mystic, but I'm really glad that I thought better of it. I don't think we were going to win that game. I think they were going to untap with just a million cards and just get us. So, alright, so that means we are 3-0. And yeah, let's go to the next round. The Tankmeister is our opponent. That is a cool name. Our hand is really bad, so I'm gonna mulligan. I feel pretty safe mulliganing that one because our opponent also mulliganed. This hand's pretty good though. Fine Finality keeps showing up though. I don't really like it. Well, I only play one because I don't want to draw on my opener. But here it is. I don't think we need another land, especially not another green one. Green-black. Okay. It's got a Watery Grave, so this could be another control deck. Grixis. Okay, fair enough. Eldest Reborn to the bottom, I like that. So I think it's Rootbound Crag, Merfolk Branchwalker. Pretty cool that we drew this Bedevil. In case they play Thief of Sanity? Nope. No Thief of Sanity. I think I actually just want to run out a Rootbound Crag here. Because... No, I'd rather run out a Woodland Cemetery, I guess. But that's just... Might as well just play around Syncopate. Got, like, nothing going on over here, so... That's a great card. But... Let's go Bolas. Walk in the Plezanes. Alright, we gotta discard the Blood Crypt, I think. I'm gonna play the Midnight Reaper and attack with both of these. How sick would Carnival Carnage be to draw right here? Dang. Okay. So, yeah, the reason is I could Bedevil there and get in for some damage. But I kind of want to draw a card. I kind of want to resolve this Midnight Reaper. And I also just, like, don't... Like, they could just play another Bolas. So, like, what's the point? So, do we make them discard here? They don't know about the Bedevil. They actually don't know about any of these cards. Rakdos Guildgate over there. I think we're fine with taking the damage. Just because, like I said, I don't want them to play another Nicol Bolas. Ritual of Soot. That's fine. 2 mana up over there. We get to draw 2 cards, though. That's really good for us. So let's Bedevil Nicol Bolas. This is a negate. Negate would be real nice. But it is not. I think we cast Carnage instead of Phoenix here. Just want to get those last 2 cards out of their hand. I mean, there's so likely to be more Bolases in their hand that I think it's really important. Syncopate for 1. Resolves. Eldest Reborn. Pretty ecstatic to get that out of their hand. Next turn we have District Guide into Phoenix. We got black, 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 red, red, red. Let's go get another Swamp Shore. No answers. That's nice. We actually have Lethal on board with the Firewheeler, so that worked pretty good. Midnight Reaper was a beating there. Alright. So, I think I want Relic Seeker, and I think I want Duress. We should probably also play Golgari Queen, even though it's not the greatest. And I guess they have lots of copies of Eldest Reborn, and I'm guessing they also have Search for Escanta, so let's go with Brontodons. But unlike against Esper Control, Chupacabra is actually good here. Firewheeler is okay. I don't have a lot of cards that I actually don't like. That's a problem. I think the answer then is to just kind of like trim on stuff. Carnival Carnage was good, but I could definitely see myself drawing too many of those. Chupacabra is okay. I guess if we have the Vraskas, then we don't need all the Brontodons. We might not need all the Bedevils. It still leaves us with 63. It's actually kind of possible that Duress isn't that good. The problem is that, like, Search for Escanta is really good. I guess, you know, most of the problematic cards aren't actually instants and sorceries. I guess the Eldest Reborn is. Dressing the Eldest Reborn is a big deal. Let's do something like that. Sure. I don't know. Also possible I should be cutting a land. Sand looks great. Looks okay. It's not the greatest thing ever. I mean, we're still like in trouble. Oh, well, it's really good now because our opponent mulliganed to 5. Thief would be a problem for us, of course. So let's play Branchwalker. District Guide is not going to do it. We really want to hit something that can kill a thief. Angrath counts, but it's going to be too slow. Ooh, okay. Alright. With all these District Guides and Explore creatures, I feel pretty comfortable discarding a land here. Even though I've got a 5-drop in my hand. Yeah, there we go. Put a Midnight Reaper. Just because I don't want to get blown out by Ritual of Soot. Taking 2 for a Bolas. I think I'm going to pitch the Seeker Squire. Sure. District Guide. So now that I got the Reaper in play, I'm pretty happy to just push into a Ritual of Soot. That doesn't bother me. I'm not going to attack. Okay, so we get a card. I like that. Search for Escanta. Good thing we just drew this Vraska Golgari Queen. However, alternatively, we can play Angrath, tick up, and then we've got a really nice play with our Vraska the turn after that. Search for Escanta is still a long ways away from actually working. So let's Angrath tick up. You know, this is actually a little loose because Bolas is going to attack the Angrath down, isn't it? Yeah. So that we can't steal it. I think that's okay, though. Well, I'm glad to get that out of their hand. If that's what they're discarding, then I think that's a win for us. We still have the ability to do this next turn. It's going to save... It's going to help us in the race, too. They have to attack Angrath.
Shiver my horns and hammer.
Okay. Let's tick up.
No fire, no steel.
Let's play Vraska Golgari Queen. Minus on the Search for Escanta. They get their pick here of whichever planeswalker they want to kill.
Make all sail for high and dry.
And we have one card in hand, and I don't know what it is. Let's go ahead and draw a card. We don't need a Mr. Mountain. Perfect. So how about we duress? Fine with me. I'm gonna leave this swamp in my hand because of this information campaign. Like if they go, nah, if they have Thought Erasure, it doesn't actually matter, does it? I would be thrilled to block here. All right, let's do this.
Alive.
Okay. That works. So I'm going to attack. Okay. Pretty good shape here. They could have Ritual of Soot or some kind of removal spell. Doom Whisperer. Okay. I think we just keep doing this thing. Cashing in lands. I don't really usually... Oh, well, there we go. Alright. I don't usually like to sacrifice lands to the effect there, but...
You're just fuel for the fires of freedom.
I think we were kind of in danger of flooding out if we didn't start doing that. And we had this district guide and so many lands, you know, that we were drawing, so... Opponent is probably sad that we kept drawing really good cards off the top with our Nebraska. But Angrath, though, geez, what a beating this card is. So I guess the opponent is making us wait for a while or something because they're the sad, but or maybe they just see. I don't think you can actually just exit the game. Maybe you can. Maybe you can like Control-Alt-Delete and exit the game, but it makes you as long as you're in the game here, it makes you actually click concede before you roll over dead. Alright. That was pretty cool. Pretty fun little grindy matchup. Nicol Bolas is a really good card, and so is Eldritch Reborn, and we got pretty lucky to get out of that. Let's, you know, I gotta be honest. That's one of the things I really miss whenever I play. Like, that's kind of my backup deck that I play on Arena is a Nicol Bolas control deck. And the thing that I miss the most is like explore creatures and mana fixing. And you know, when our opponent mulliganed a lot, it was like when you've got these like value on value matchups, I think the consistency is really, really important. So, I know that when I play a deck that's like that, that's the thing that I am missing in the kind of mid-range mirror. All right, so we're gonna go to round 5. We're 4-0. One more. You ever yawn so hard you pull a muscle in your neck? I just did that. Anyway, I said the last round, but this might not be the last round. I don't want to jinx myself here. Ouch. This hand looks pretty good. We've got good mana and a removal spell. Really do kind of like Vraska Golgari Queen in this deck. It's also kind of an interesting card in that it's not that bad in multiples. That's kind of one of the things you worry about when you play Planeswalkers and Legendaries. It's how good they are if you have, you know, many of them, multiple of them, but it's just as a 4-mana Abrupt Decay, your opponent kind of has to respect it too. It's, you know, it's a fine card. We're gonna go get a mountain. Like here, I think I'm gonna nuke this Wildgrowth Walker and be really far ahead. Ow, that really did hurt my neck just now. That was weird. There's another Wildgrowth Walker. Okay. So I feel pretty thrilled about Golgari Queen on the Walker. Eater Walker. So now they need 2 removal spells to be able to attack this Vraska. Another Walker. And a Branch Walker. Okay. So that's all good. However, we get a really fun play here where we get to minus Angrath on a Wild Growth Walker and then sacrifice it to Vraska. If we do that, we're going to lose our Angrath. It's kind of unfortunate. But I don't really think I have a much better option here. 3 Wild Growth Walkers is a lot. If we had one more mana, then I could just Carnival the Branch Walker. I think this is worth it. We could draw a card and stuff. This is going to be sweet.
Ever seen water pure crew for my freedom? A fair price.
Alive.
And then we can cash in this Vraska. Ooh, well, I guess that's what we wanted to draw. And then we can cash in the Vraska. They have to trade here. Unless they want to use removal spell in my district guide, which is just another option. That's fine. Okay, they get to kill both now, but we get a land, which is kind of a nice prize here. Okay, Phoenix is good. Phoenix is pretty good. I think I want to go District Guide Phoenix. Set up a little bit of a board before they have the ability to do anything against this Angrath. So I'm going to get a... Got red, red, red. We've got black, 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 black. So we'll get another red source. And play a Phoenix. So let's see what they do here. Another Jade Light. So Wild Growth Walker is large. It's a large creature. 6/8. I think I'm okay with taking 6. I don't want to open myself up to a cast down here. Brontodon doesn't really do it for me. I really want to cast Carnage instead. I mean Carnival instead. So let's play Angrath. Steal the Walker.
You're just fuel for the fires of freedom. Your crew for my freedom.
Attack. Stomping ground, go. Okay, so now, hopefully, right, if I played a Brontodon, imagine their hand is like Crassus removal spell. If I played a Brontodon, they would go removal spell, attack Angrath. But now they might just go Crassus, attack Angrath, and then I Carnival one of their creatures and make some good blocks, and then we're ahead of the game. Looks like either way we are losing our Angrath. So if that's the case, then now we get to pivot and use Carnage on their face. We have 2 cards in hand. I think they played a land this turn already.
Start thinking fast. You're on your own.
Another cast down would be annoying, but not really the end of the world. Sure, so they'll play one of these. They'll probably play the Wild Growth Walker, right? Okay, so now Carnage looks great. Still gonna just cast the Carnage. I really don't want them to play a Jade Light Ranger here. Now we have much bigger creatures than our opponent does, and we're both in top deck mode. However, they have Hydroid Crassus in their deck. I just have a bunch of Merfolk Branch Walkers, or Thrashing Brontodons, apparently. I'm gonna... Is this silly? That's a little silly. When they're at 27, that's just like not how we're winning this game. So District Guide is not a good draw anymore. There's only 2 left in the deck, though. Wouldn't mind a Planeswalker. Of some sort. Can't draw a Vraska anymore. We can draw a Vivian. Okay. There's a card. Good enough. I think now I'll attack. Kind of wish I had been attacking that whole time, but like, you know, what's the likelihood it's actually working, you know? Land go. So I think it's time for a Chupacabra on a Walker, and sure, I don't know. That's fine. Good trade with me. Now we can kind of turn it up a little bit if they don't draw anything. This is the other reason why I want to do that, is that you want to keep the board clear in case they draw Vivian. Wow. So now at least they have to sacrifice this elf and then Vivian goes to 1.
Now we're getting started.
But they have stuff they could get back with their monument.
My newest friend.
Is that all 4 Wildgrowth Walkers? 1, 2, 3. No, but they've cast 4 because of Fine Fidelity. Oh look, Hostage Taker. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. That's not a bad draw, actually. What sucks the most is that they'll probably block with Hostage Taker and then get it back with their Memorial to Folly. So I kind of need to draw something extremely good here. And that's not it. So I think we can concede. They're just gonna Memorial, back the Hostage Taker, they're gonna tick up their Vivian. We got pretty lucky that we never saw a Hydroid Crassus up until then anyway. Just doing the normal thing against this matchup. Just taking out Brontodons. Oh, I only took out 1. Just taking out the Brontodons because they don't have any targets. And they're just kind of the worst creature. And Seeker Squires aren't that great either. Okay. So this is kind of the other most important matchup in the format. And I actually really like it. This hand is probably not good enough, though. This'll work. Is it greedy for me to bottom that? Probably greedy, but it could be right anyway. I think I'll keep it. I think after sideboard, the most dangerous thing is Thief of Sanity. And Bedevil shuts that down pretty nicely, so might as well keep it. Just kind of want to play defense here until we get our Planeswalkers online. That's pretty good for us. So now we can end-step Bedevil, untap, and Carnage. Yep. So I think I'm going to do this. Now that they have a Forest in their hand, Carnage gets a little worse. But I think I'm going to do this. Like, Bedevil, obviously, you'd rather use it on something better. But given our hand, I mean, we're tapping out for the next, like, 12 turns in a row. So we're just going to try and get big here. I just don't want, you know, we're taking three damage a turn if we don't do that. And plus, I don't want our planeswalkers getting attacked. So now that they have Jadelight Ranger, no elf, which is great for us. Also, it's a 3/2. That's a pretty nice Fire Wheeler target, but I think I will go for Angrath.
Never seen your crew from my freedom.
So we get to clear the board. We get to play Vivian next turn and take up Angrath. Could alternatively just Fire Wheeler next turn. I kind of like that better.
No fire.
Or this turn, I mean.
Steel.
So they get a card, but we get more protection for our planeswalkers. It's also kind of threatening some damage, too. This is a Crassus. Crassus would normally be really good, but we've got Vivian Reed. Find for a couple of creatures and Ravenous Chupacabra. Sure. Okay. I think we tick up.
No fire, no steel.
And I think we Vivian.
No one knows the wilds
Phoenix
like
looks pretty
I do.
good. Let Crypt go. Branchwalker. Good. So now they're probably going to attack Angrath. Midnight Reaper.
Hard a larboard.
Ooh.
The other larboard, fool!
That's almost lethal? That's pretty interesting. It's a little scary to make that play.
Come to me.
Okay, Chupacabra is really good too. We can Chupacabra, make them discard whatever they draw. I guess we can also find Finality. That's going to deal... That's going to put them to 2. And kind of do the same thing. But if we Chupacabra, we get Chupacabra here. Man, this is actually a really close call. I think the play that I like the most is Chupacabra, Branchwalker. So we Chupacabra, the Midnight Reaper. Make them discard.
No fire, no steel.
Play Branchwalker. That's fine, I guess. Sure, it's a good card. So now we've still got Vivian Reed. They need to have drawn something pretty special. Like they can attack, and then we can just like take it and attack them back. So okay, that went okay for us. This time we're in the draw, and so I really want to have Carnival Carnage in my opener. We got it. Okay. So this hand looks fantastic. The reason for that is Lana Royals, of course. I'm not going to... If they didn't have it on turn 1, then I'm not going to like try and worry about it. They could have Branchwalker here. It's a little annoying, but I'm not really that into even using the Carnival Carnage on it, so whatever. If they play a Jadelight Ranger, then I will target it in response to the ability. Okay, it was just another Branchwalker. Now I'm kind of thinking about it, though. Yeah, I could see this kind of getting out of hand. It's a lot of... It's, you know, we're not playing anything until turn 4. So we may as well just go ahead and do that. The Devil seems pretty good here, but I don't know, you know, what we're targeting with it yet. This could be a Midnight Reaper. It could also just have nothing. I think if they have nothing, I'm just gonna hit this Branchwalker. Is that crazy? The thing is that Phoenix is so good against Vivian. They're pretty likely to have Disdainful Stroke, though. So, like, my Bedevil into Phoenix, like, doesn't work if they go Disdainful Stroke into Vivian. That's just not happening. So, I think we can just do better than that. Yeah, let's play a Phoenix. Probably getting Disdainful... Ooh, okay. Grassless Contempt, then, instead? Yeah. Okay, so... would love to have them not have Vivian Reed. That's not what's happening today, though. Okay, Crassus. Crassus for 3 I can handle. That's not a problem. There's another land for Vivian Reed, which is cool, but I'm not going to do that yet. Because I want to tick up. Or I would want to tick down on the Crassus, and that does not work. So here is a Crassus that I can target, which is nice. Yep. So Vivian minus on this Crassus, I think is what I want to do.
I've lost so much already. I won't lose.
It's kind of a little sketchy because we lose our Vivian. But at least we get to take out this 3/3. If they're going to attacks, then they're doing it. Now I guess I gotta ask myself, what's the scarier thing here? The Crassus? If I block Crassus, they could kill the Phoenix for good with Cast Down. If I block Branchwalker, then they still have the 3/3 flyer, but I don't think the difference between a 3/3 flyer and the 2/1 Branchwalker is really that big of a deal. So I'm just going to block the Branchwalker for now.
I'll be back, just like before.
Well, should have played around it. So they have enough mana to play Hostage Taker next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and get a Swamp and then leave up Bedevil mana. And I might as well attack because they got the Grassless Contempt. So this all kind of went poorly for us because you know, I could have hit that Merfolk Branchwalker with that Bedevil earlier. It probably would have been a better plan than what we've got going on right now. Fine Finality, leaving it on top. Problem with Fine Finality is that you just kind of have to fight through it. It sucks, but... So here's Contempt. No? Alright, well that smells so much like a Hostage Taker. Problem is that we can't really do much about a Hostage Taker. So I'm actually going to hit the Jade Light Ranger, I think. Deals more damage to us. They're 14. They could also just cast Finality here, and we'd be in serious trouble. Yeah, okay. So now we got a rip. That counts. So that's pretty great. We got them to, yeah, that's pretty awesome. We got them to use their finality instead of find, and now their Hydrocrassises are dead. I think I'm going to cast this Firewheeler, though. I really just want to hit him here. Put him on a clock. Put a little bit of pressure on. Okay, that's a problem. So what's that going to be? 6/6. All right. We've got outs. We've got good outs. Angrath would be really sick. That's not one.
Everyone is expendable, except
Can we get there? No. Okay. Well, good game. Good match. I think, yeah, it all came down to that early play when I was trying to play around Vivian Reed by not using Bedevil. And I was also trying to kind of play around Disdainful Stroke there. They didn't really have either of those cards. They didn't have Disdainful Stroke and they didn't have Vivian Reed, so it did not work. So if I had just bedeviled the Branchwalker, like on turn 3, and then untapped and played Phoenix, and then they contempt on my end step, and then they untapped and played the Crassus, if I had just gone Vivian minus, there would have been no Branchwalker to attack back. That's why I didn't want to do that in the first place, because I would have just gotten attacked down by the Branchwalker that was still there because I hadn't used the Bedevil yet. So I think that was probably just not a good assessment of my, like, you know, how safe I could play. I think really, you know, I say that. It kind of worked out pretty poorly for me. Most people don't actually just play a 3/3 Crassus. That's not like a play that most people make. So in that case, I don't know. It was just kind of a rarity that happens. I don't know. I don't see that happen very often, that people just like run it out. But I guess if they had like a lot of fine finalities, then it makes sense. But I could have just gone for that Bedevil play and then just been like, okay, I'm just going to cross my fingers that my late game, you know, my Planeswalkers and Phoenixes are going to be able to beat your stuff. So probably what we should have done there. Luckily, we are 4-1, so we got one more round to go. Let's see if we can get it done. Bailey Gaming is our opponent. We are here for round 6. We are 4-1. I'm going to keep it. Opponent went to 6. We just need to hit lands off of our Branchwalkers. I think, like, so imagine that Bedevil isn't in this hand. It's a pretty good hand, right? Bedevil is just kind of extra if we happen to hit a black source and a red source pretty quickly. But you would keep a 6-card hand that looked like this. You'd be pretty happy about it, so. More Watery Graves, alright. So I played the Forest on turn 1. I probably shouldn't have, to be honest, because we just drew a... That's why right there, because Rakdos Firewheeler. So this looks like a Simic deck. Okay, or a Sultai deck. Breeding Pool and Watery Grave. Cool. There is a Jadelight Ranger. Going to be a 3/2. I think the play is just going to be Branchwalker. Yeah, we got really punished for playing that Forest. I mean, we actually had to play the Forest next turn anyway, but we got punished for it not being a different green source of mana. That being said, we still have plenty of good plays here. I think it's going to be Branch Walker. Yeah, I don't... Oh, this is a Sultai deck. Okay. the Sultai deck. The deck. It's not interesting to see a Sultai deck. Let's just play some stuff out. Okay. So that was perfect. So we can play Phoenix next turn or Bedevil, whichever one we want. We can also block this Jade Light Ranger. That looks like a pretty good plan to me. Of course, that means probably, like, they want to load up their graveyard because they have Fine Finality. That's not the hugest problem for us. So here's a Phoenix. Not attacking. So we're pretty safe against Crassus. And we're pretty safe against Vivian Reed. Not like super safe against Vivian Reed, but the Firewheeler is going to be able to kill the Vivian, which is pretty nice. I'd rather be able to kill a creature of my opponents here, but this is fine. If I could beat Devil and District Guide in the same turn, then I would, but that's not the case. I think I'm going to play Stomping Ground. Am I going to play Stomping Ground, or am I going to play Overgrown Tomb? I don't think it matters too much. I think I'm going to play Overgrown Tomb. Play the Firewheeler. Hit Vivian. Now attack Vivian. And so now they're in a situation where, you know, they made that early attack that was really aggressive, the kind of attack that signals that they have Fine Finality. If that's the case, then, like, Fine Finality that's great for us, you know. If it's not the case, like this, then we get to cast Vivian Reed.
You can't stop.
And Phoenix or Reaper. So next turn we're gonna have 7 mana, so we can Reaper, or we can Phoenix plus District Guide, or Phoenix plus Bedevil. I think that's probably a better use of our mana and stuff like that. Not going to attack, gonna hang back and block for Vivian. The Wild Growth Walker. Sound good to me. Let's tick up. Maybe we'll hit a Chupacabra. We didn't. I think we're gonna hit the Rootbound Crag. No, I'll go to Woodland Cemetery. It doesn't matter much, but either way, what I want to do is leave up Bedevil mana. So let's go red. Phoenix. So this way we get to play around. I guess I could have attacked there. Maybe that was the right play. We get to play around Hostage Taker this way, and we also get to play around other stuff. Them having Explorer creature for the Wild Growth Walker. Do I just Bedevil here? You know, the thing is that Hostage Taker on the Phoenix isn't even that good because we have Vivian. So I think we just Bedevil the Wild Growth Walker. Pick up Vivian.
The wilds are my
Chupacabra. District Guide. Or a Swamp. Chupacabra, a Llanowar Elves. And sure, why not? Let's attack. So now they need to draw something really good. I think we are still fine against Hostage Taker. I think we're still fine against Hydrid Crassus. I think we're still fine against pretty much everything they could draw there, because even against, you know, Vraska's Contempt. So that was great. Same board plan as every time. And they have a lot of werewolves in the deck, so Carnival Carnage is going to be important. Yep, looks pretty good to me. Rekindling Phoenix is just bonkers in this matchup. I think it's kind of the biggest reason that I play this deck is that Rekindling Phoenix is really, really good. Kind of the only good Rekindling Phoenix deck in the format. I mean, there's probably like a Gruul aggro deck too. Just green-red aggro, maybe with like, what is it called? Hymn of the Wilds or whatever. Sounds a little slow, but I think I'm going to keep it. We have 3 really, really strong cards. We have good mana. And our opponent looks like they mulliganed. So it's tough. I like having an answer to, like, there are 2 draws that beat you. Are the Wild Growth Walker draws, the ones, you know, where they have a Walker and then like a bunch of Explore cards. Or the ones, or the draws where they have a really fast Vivian read. And Bedevil stops both of those plans. So it's really, really good there. I'm going to play the Midnight Reaper. This kind of walks right into the Vraska's Contempt, but it's not like the Vraska's Contempt's ever going to be bad. If they're going to spend 4 mana on turn 4 on my 3 mana play, then I'm pretty happy about it, really. And if they go for Hostage Taker, then we're all good. Yep. So another Bedevil, so I will definitely be just firing this one off on the Branchwalker. Depending on what they do here. If they just play Vivian Reed, then I'll just hit the Vivian. Okay, so here's Vivian. And now I can just minus on Branchwalker.
Beasts are much more reliable than... I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Hit a Thief. Interesting. So that kind of makes me want to change my plan, because hitting somebody with a Thief off of Angrath is just so good. So good. So if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to Bedevil here. I'm going to untap and Bedevil Vivian. It's a little risky. It really kind of...
Every defeat is a new beginning.
Can definitely backfire. Here we go. Alright, negate is basically game. Or Disdainful Stroke. Okay, so the Harpooner's annoying, but at least we could actually just Finality that? We don't have any creatures to get. Maybe that's a better play. This way Angrath doesn't get attacked back. And if they have, like, imagine if their last card is another Thief. How sick would it be? Come on, play a Thief. Do it, Bailey Gaming. Come on. You know you want to. Come on, Bailey Gaming. Ah, okay, fine. Okay, so we're still in the same jam here, unless we draw, like, a 2-drop creature. We could also hit a 2-drop creature off of their deck, then block the Branchwalker that way. Okay, Angrath. Minus on the Thief.
Your crew for mine.
Attack with the Thief. Bang. Dang. Let's go for Contempt, though. Pretty good. Pretty good set of plays. I guess playing the land there was actually really unnecessary.
Make all sail for high and dry.
Fine with that. Now we just gotta hope they don't draw Hydroid Crassus. We're pretty good against everything else. Although, there's always a risk with Carnage Tyrant. I think many people play it these days, but it would be good here. Okay. Yes, please. I accept. Nebraska, you can join my team. I have enough mana to cast both Big Vraska and Vraska's Contempt in the same turn, so I'm gonna just do that. I could Vraska's Contempt something like the Jadelight Ranger now, but I'd rather just hit the Vivian. Especially with the treasure token here, so we're gonna minus. So as long as this Vivian doesn't hit Crassus, I think I like our spot here.
Wild animals I like. Meet my newest friend.
Guess I could have expected that. So we're gonna Contempt. Okay, it's not a bad draw. Let's play it. Sacrifice a swamp. Great. Okay. So we get to clock our opponent. We got two different Vraska ultimates threatening. I really wish you could sacrifice artifacts. Oh, you can sacrifice artifacts. Holy shit. I've been playing this card wrong all this time. You can actually sacrifice the treasure token. Holy crap. I really wish I had known that. They left 2 mana up, which is a little interesting. Because they could have Crassus for another... because they drew a Assassin's Trophy. Okay. That's pretty good. Yep, get a land. That's pretty good too. So am I killing this or am I drawing cards? 2 cards in our opponent's hand. I think I'm going to draw cards. They can't actually attack this Vraska down anyway. It's going to threaten ultimate. They need to have find finality. Yeah, they need to have finality. Okay, like that's kind of good. That's kind of good. Interesting. I wonder if this one is slipping away. Grass is down to 4. We got lots of outs. We got lots of outs. Opponent's got 1 card in hand. I think this is a tough call. Let's see what we have on top. Let's do that. If it's something really good, then I want to draw it. Now I guess I don't know. But hitting the Crassus now looks like a pretty good plan. I don't know what their last card is, though.
What can I say? Death is cheap.
No attacks. So now we can block the Phoenix. This is another big Crassus. That would be a problem. Contempt would be a kind of a problem. They attack, then I'm definitely just blocking, like multi-blocking this hostage taker. Nothing. Wow. 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 Okay. Why? What do you have? Is it Disdainful Stroke or something? It just wouldn't be Cast Down. If they had Cast Down, they would have used it on Phoenix and then attacked Vraska. If they had Assassin's Trophy, they would have done the same thing. The counter spell? And maybe it's Disdainful Stroke? I guess the best way to play around Disdainful Stroke is to sacrifice like a land. See what I draw. Alright, I guess I just Vivian and hope it's not Disdainful Stroke, but if it is, it's not the biggest deal. Okay, so let's just nuke this Phoenix. Because unlike if it's my Phoenix, they don't get to oh, look at that! I made a creature for them. Yep. Nice. Very nice. Good play. Alright, let's District Guide, get a land. I think it might be our last one. You have, like, Essence Capture? Really? So you didn't go for the cast down before? That's crazy. Because they could have cast down their Phoenix and attacked Vraska. But they didn't. That's really crazy to me. Okay. So now we're in okay shape. If they try to attack a Planeswalker, we can double block. I might just want to do it anyway for fine finality purposes. Boom. Okay. Let's see what we get on top.
No one knows the wilds.
Yeah, I was just thinking Firewheeler would be really solid here. But Phoenix might even just be better. It's probably got to be Phoenix, I think. Just so good. Let's... I could sacrifice the Phoenix. That's a little risky. I don't think I want to. Let's play a Branchwalker. Let's play, I think I'm just going to play a Phoenix and probably not the other Branchwalker. Is that bad? It's kind of bad. If they have like Hostage Taker or Fine Finality for Hostage Taker, I'm kind of going to want all the damage I can get. If they go Finality, then I don't really care. So I might as well just... Okay. And now they have Hostage Taker. They play the Phoenix. And then we shoot the Phoenix. With our Vivian. Oh, and we top deck. That's what we do.
Get that out of here.
Cool. All right, we got there. Planeswalkers did it, finally. Vraska Golgari Queen was pretty good, Vivian Reed's pretty good, Angrath pretty good. Finally, eventually, we got enough value out of our Planeswalkers. And that is like why I like that matchup a lot. The thing about the Hydroid Crassus plan is that it costs a lot of mana. They have to spend mana on that value every turn. They're getting a lot of value in a huge creature, but they have to spend mana on that every turn. Whereas just going Planeswalker into Planeswalker is just like a snowball effect. And you don't need to spend all your mana on that every turn. You get to spend your mana on the stuff that you're getting with Vivian and with Vraska. So I think it's this kind of weird version of tempo, because neither deck is really that good of a tempo deck, but when they're casting all their mana on one spell and putting one effect onto the stack per turn, and you're doing that plus all your Planeswalkers, then as long as you can handle the really big creature and race the amount of life that they're gaining, then it's kind of a good matchup, I think. Hostage Taker is a problem. Hostage Taker is really good in those late game situations, but anyway, we got there. All right, I'm going to wrap it up, go back to the deck list and check it out. We got there. I'm going to claim the prize. Claim the prize. Let's go. What do we get? Some rares. Commanding Dragon, Midnight Reaper. Good cards. Some gold. All right. Okay, so we went 5-1. The 1 was against Sultai. We beat Esper, Grixis, Simic, Nexus of Fate. We got pretty lucky to get out of that one, but I feel like we got lucky because we had really bad draws, but they just weren't quite as bad as our opponent's draws. But I do feel like we have a pretty good shot in that matchup. We have a lot of disruption, a lot of disenchants, and a lot of discard. And then we went 1-1 against the mirror. I think we won that last round 2-0. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that we get to play this kind of like... The reason that I like this deck over Sultai is that we get to play these like low to the ground, instead of the really big expensive cards, we get to play cheaper versions of cards that get us value, which is really important in the format when there's a lot of things like White Weenie and a lot of things like Mono Blue, Tempo, and the Red deck, and stuff like that, where you just want to have a lower to the ground, Carnival Carnages, and instant speed. Our Vraska's Contempt costs 3 instead of 4. We get to play Rakdos Firewheeler, which is like a really good card for racing against those cheap creature decks. And and so we get to play like a lower to the ground deck where our mana costs overall are a lot cheaper. And at the same time, we can still kind of go blow for blow with the mid-range, the value arms race is what I like to call it. But, where you're just like, okay, well, if they're going to play Hydroid Crassus, then I'm going to play, 4 copies of Fine Final to get my Hydroid Crassus back, and 4 copies of Memorial Fall to get those Hydroid Crassus back, and I'll play, and they're just like trying to go over the top and over the top and over the top, and you can win by exploiting the fact that their deck costs so much mana. Their really powerful plays don't come online for a long time, where your powerful plays come online like turn 5. It's just like Angrath, it's go time, So I'm really happy with the deck. We were able to like beat up on those Esper decks because we have the quick our cheap weenie creatures that put on enough pressure also are kind of getting us some value, so they're helping out for the late game, and so we set ourselves up for the late game where we're just We don't need to deal with, you know, a handful of cards and 20 life. We can just try and plink away. And yeah, the sideboard has been good. Duress has been, I mean, of course, Duress is really, really good. And Shivan Fire has been solid when we need it. Shivan Fire, Moment of Craving, kind of. I think I might just go to 4 copies of Shivan Fire in the sideboard instead of Moment of Craving. The thing about Moment of Craving is that you're so likely to get your removal spell hit, like your instant speed removal spell hit by a dive down or a spell pierce or a Siren Stormtamer, that like the 2 life that you gain, it almost like never resolves anyway. It's better against the red deck, but not even by that much, because the 1 mana spell is really important too. We get to go up to all 4 copies of Thrashing Bronodon, which is just the best thing in the world against Wilderness Reclamation. And then Vraska Golgari Queen is just super solid. Really, really good card. I don't think I want to go up to 2 in the main deck, but I do like having the option. I do like having it in the sideboard. It's just like, when it's good, it's really good. I boarded in against like almost everything, but and I mean, that's the thing about Jund, though. You've always got good cards to bring out, so a versatile card in the sideboard that comes in against everything is pretty good. It's pretty, you know, pretty necessary. And then the Relic Seeker seems pretty solid, I think. I like it better than you know, my other things I've tried in this slot are like Carnage Tyrant. I've tried Demon Lord Belzenlock, which I love, but it's pretty bad. And you know, stuff like that. Biogenic Ooze. But I like that it, you know, sticks with the Planeswalker theme and is just a really good, you know, we ended up beating Simic Nexus with the ultimate somehow. So it's just got a really good place in the metagame right now. In the all Carnage Tyrant format, I think it sucks. But in the all Hydroid Crassus format, I think it's great. A card that I really want to try, though, I really, really want to try, and I still haven't gotten around to it, is, oh, what's that guy's name? Tetsamok or something? The dinosaur guy? The black dinosaur? Tetsamok. I do want to try this card at some point. Like, this card seems like the late game trump to end all late game trumps. Just plague wind your opponent and just go nuts. Maybe. I don't know. If I was going to change one thing about this deck, I'd probably cut this Fine Finality, maybe just for another Carnival Carnage. It's just not that good in this deck. I think it's amazing in the Sultai decks. And it's fine in that matchup, but I think I just want to cut it for another Carnival Carnage. And other than that, though, I really like how the deck's running. So that's going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. I had a really good time with this deck. It's really, really fun. We didn't get a chance to play against Mono Blue Tempo, which is ideal. If I was entering a tournament, I don't want to play against it, but it is good to test and see, you know, if you can beat it and stuff and what you need to change with your deck. But I think, you know, Fine Finality is really bad there. Carnival Carnage is really good there. So I might make that swap for the 4th one of those. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. Hope y'all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Check out my blog. Check out my Twitch. The whole thing. All right. Appreciate it. Bye.